Hello and welcome to the new Power BI tutorial video. And in this video, I want to show you how you can do the counting of two dates. Like we have, let's say, employee which has an activity start date and end date. It can be a project also, project start date, end date. In some cases, you have, dates which is where you don't have the end date. And in many cases, you have, in almost all these cases, you have the start date. So one is that you can count all the dates which is there, which is the first scenario, very straightforward, nothing much that we have to do. But then based on the last n days, that means last activities performed in last 15 days, last 20 days, last 30 days, based on the start and end date is something which I will going to tell you how you can do that. So for example, over here, what I am showing you is I think based on the last 30 days from today. And so for example, today is 19th June. So from the 19th June, if you go back to 30 days, the activities like 15th May will not be counted for employee A. So it will be 1 and 2, these two values. So that is what you will see. Activity start, that means opened, is only 2, not 3. In a normal table where no condition is present, it will show you 3. So that is something I want to show you how you can achieve it with the help of the formula if this is the problem you are facing. Okay, so first thing first, this is a simple table. I have created it based on the enter data option. So for example, you can go in, enter data, and you can enter employee start date and end date. This is the very small table for this example. This table I have simply created it by taking the employee, and this is where my information is. We have the employee, we have the count of start date, count of end date. Straightforward, nothing much. And as you can see, in the end date the value is 5, so it is not counting the blank. So that's what we want. Now finally the third table where you have the open count and close count. For that I have created these formulas, and let me show you by recreating it how you can create these from scratch by creating a new table. All right, for that I'll create a new measure, and in this measure I will say opened count to equals to, and I will say in this case what we have is basically your variable, so var, and I will say start count or open count, up to me. Start count is activity start count, we can even say that. So we have the calculate, and we will use the function called count rows of this table, which is one count, not the date table, one counting. This is the scenario 1 for the counting, that is why I have given it a name, one counting. That's the only thing. And then we have the filter, and in the filter we have again the table, this, and filter expression is that this is based on the activity start date, right? So activity start date is greater than equal to the start date. That means how many days you want to go back. So in this case, I will say, first of all, I will bring the date with the function UTC now, and I will say minus 30. I want to go 30 days back. And I come down below and I say that activity start date is less than equals to UTC now, which always take the latest date. Okay, and we will close this filter, and we will close the calculate, and then we will say return, and in the return I can simply say underscore start count, or I can put a condition just to say that just to check whether if the start count is blank or not. But first let me just show you how this will going to perform. Okay, so open count to, if this is the table and I bring it over here just below to that, and you will see that we are getting a value, the same value what we have. So all in all, this is the function or the DAX formula where we are saying that activity days should be greater than equals to minus 30, and it is less than equals to the current date, whatever is the current date, and we get this formula over here, which basically tells us that you have the 4 activities which is started in the last 30 days. So the only improvement we can do in this case is return, and we will say that if is blank, that means if it is returning nothing, right, then say what 0, otherwise return the start count, right, and you press enter and it will give you the output. So it will only handle scenarios if this output is nothing or it is not returning anything, then it will return simply the 0, otherwise the start count, so that you can handle it correctly. You can enter any specific value, text value, that no value returned, for example, so that it will going to appear over here. Now once you have that, the same formula you need to apply on the end date. Rather than start date, you will say the end date minus 30. The only other thing which I will tell you is making it dynamic, the minus 30. So what do we have is basically in the modeling, we have the new parameter, and in this new parameter we have this numeric range, right, and we will call it last n days, whole number, minimum 1, let's say maximum we want to go 30 days back, sorry, maximum is here 30 days back, and increment by 1, let's say default value we want to keep it 5, right, last n days, and last n days is now present over here, last n days value. So what I can do is I can come over here, rather than 30 I can say last n days value, right, and I press enter. As soon as I press enter, the value starts to perform, that no activity started in last 5 days. So I go to last 16 days, maybe 23 days, 24 days, so the values have now started coming. If I move little bit ahead, like last 20 days, only one activity has started for each of the employees. So this is the kind of formula that you can create for the start date and end date by first of all applying this formula and then further automating it with the help of the parameter. So I hope if this is the scenario you were looking for, then you may have found it useful. Please hit the like button if this is really helping you, and let me know if you have any other question in the mind related to these manipulation of the dates. We can definitely chat on that on the comments, and if possible I will create the solution also by creating a video. So thank you so much. I'll meet you in the new video with a new topic.